Okay, it should be recording. And that's just the deal. Hi, everybody. This is Angelo Quinones and your Reach I Am Ministry. The King James only curse. I'm losing my voice. Is I Am Ministries. I Am Ministries is designed. You Reach I Am Ministries. I Am Ministries is designed to give you dependable and accurate answers that come straight from God's holy and inspired word, the Bible. And this is part 2 of the series entitled MEIZON. MEIZON. Actually, in the present sense, is actually something else. We're going to check that out. So this is a full Greek construction, and I did several studies on John chapter 14 verse 28 because of the witnesses. They're always using it and twisting it to their own destruction. Let's pray before we get into this Bible study. Well, guys, this is the coup de grace. This is the key. Now, actually, I'm sitting right in front of my kitchen table, right? And, there's no coffee on the table. I just had it, which I saved. If I knew I was going to do a Bible study, I would have saved some coffee. But I don't feel sleepy or weary or anything like that. But it's just a little bit sluggish. So hopefully, we prayed for the study. I don't know if I got that prayer up there. But if I did, you guys can hear it. But I like to pray before each study, and hopefully he'll see us through. Now let's study, something recorded in the Bible called John chapter 14, verse 28. And this is part of the upper room discourses. There's several chapters in John, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, and they're not all done in the upper room, but they're part of the teaching. That's just the deal. All right, now let's read from the NASB. And is this the greatest translation of all time? No, absolutely not. But it's very easy to get in and out of this app, just like the NIV. The NIV is a good app to get in and out, and it's a good, accurate translation, for the most part. Even though it's one of the older translations, though. Well, let's read this. It says over here in verse 28 of chapter 14, quote, "You heard," now we're going to look at the Greek. "You heard that I said to you," and that's in the plural, to you all, "To you, I go away and I will come to you. If," Greek word A, "you loved me, you would have rejoiced, because I go to the Father," Greek word pater, Father, Hebrew word of. For the Father is greater than I. For the Father is greater than I. That's just the deal. Now, we're going to be looking at the full Greek construction, but let me just give you a little bit of a background why I'm doing this study. Well, Jehovah's Witnesses like to use this all the time. I mean, they like to, and when they get into trouble, they use another 28 up their sleeves. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 28. Every time I debated so-called Jehovah's Witness, Mark Jackson, Mark from Missouri, when he got cornered, he always used for a parachute or for a pillow. You understand what I'm saying? 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 28. He always used it, and he thinks that he just got out of something. But he's just telling me that he didn't do his homework, or he doesn't know the topic. He doesn't know the deal. He doesn't know how to debate. He doesn't know anything. He just uses 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 28 every time he's in trouble. It gets kind of tedious after a while hearing the witnesses use 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 28. You know what I'm saying? Like if the Apostle Paul was denying the deity of Christ in that verse and chapter, he was not, by the way. But I'm not going to get into that. I could do a series on that in and of itself. But we have to understand that the relationship that the Apostle John, the evangelist, John focuses on, in this chapter, in this chapter, is the father-son relationship. Greek word, Greek letter P, and then Hebrew letter P sometimes. So that's the main focus, of this chapter. Now, I already told you that the word Father in NIV appears around 23 times, and I know there's several NIVs, and I didn't bother to check the Greek because it's probably around 20 or 23 times or 22 times or whatever the case may be. One day I'll count the whole thing, the whole shebang, and get back to you guys. But it's basically the same thing. And when the NIV says him and we, and those are pronouns to break up the monotony. If it wasn't for those pronouns, the word Father, okay, it would appear around 29 times. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So it could have been even more. And the Greek word theos is in the first verse. So actually, the word God appears one time. Okay, Father appears around 23 times, and pronouns for God the Father appear 5 or 6 times, all making it a total of 30 times that the Father is addressed, okay, is spoken of one way or another. I'm not talking about direct address. I'm not talking about that. There's no direct address over here to the Father. Okay, that's coming up in chapter 17, in what we call the high priestly prayer. Okay, we already saw him pray to the Father in chapter 12, etc. You understand what I'm saying? All right, now, so that's the focus. Okay, we have to understand that, Jesus is talking about many things in this chapter. Okay, he wasn't talking about his deity at all, as a matter of fact. Okay, he might have alluded to it if we study it a little bit, more carefully, but he wasn't denying his deity, or he wasn't talking about his deity per se, like up front and center. What his main focus is that he's going to go away. Okay, he don't want to leave the disciples helpless. He wants to leave a helper. You understand what I'm saying? The Holy Spirit, and he's going to go to the Father. And he prepared a way. He prepared a way, because he's the way. And he also prepared, okay, a place for us all. Okay, there where he's going. He went to prepare a place. So he already did that. You understand what I'm saying? The work has been finished. And other things he talks about as well. But this chapter is really focusing on the father-son relationship, not the theos or logos, or theos and logos, I should say, and relationship. He's not concentrating on that. He's concentrating on the B-side relationship of the record, if you want to put it like that. You understand what I'm saying? A side of the record is the equality as far as God is concerned, not as persons, but as far as nature goes. But the B side, the flip side of the coin or the record, is that he, is the father-son relationship. So he wasn't denying his deity at all. So Jehovah's Witnesses can't use anything from this chapter to deny the deity of Christ at all. He wasn't talking about his deity or the lack of it, or whatever the case may be, according to the other side of it all. If you're dealing with the witnesses, that's what they think he was alluding to. All right, now, since that's a fact, now we went to, a part of the Bible, and I'm going to get it right here. I'm not going to keep you in suspense. This is not Alfred Hitchcock, you understand what I'm saying? We went to a part of the Bible that's in Job that talks about, that says that God is greater than man. Now, I believe this is a perfect verse to give to the witnesses. First of all, it's not used at all whatsoever. We're going to stop doing that. We're going to stop not using something like this that can help us out. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, no, this is it right here. Verse 12, it says over here, "Behold, let me tell you, you are not right in this." Okay, here we go to coup de grace. "For God is greater than man." Is that clear? God is. We're going to look at the Greek Septuagint. I want to look at the Greek Septuagint. Hopefully it coincides, because things don't from time to time. Sometimes things are not even there. But, the Hebrew, we can look at it another time. Okay. Well, we can look at it now, as a matter of fact. We can look at it now. Let's look at it now. God is greater, okay? And wait for a second, what's going on over here? God is greater, so that's in the it's in the Hebrew. Okay, God, and that's Elo, and that's Eloah, or Eloha actually. Well, that's Pathach. Okay, Eloha. Okay, God is greater. Okay, and that's Yirbe, Yirbe. And let me make sure I have this up, the magnification there, so that way we can check out. We could blow up the print a little bit here. Let me see, accessibility, and so let me see whatever it was on, but it's just sometimes it just turns off by itself. All right, so greater is here. Okay, is greater. So let's just blow up the print a little bit, and let's just look at it. All right, let's keep this there. Okay. All right, so greater is yir, be, be. You have underneath the R in greater, you got the Babylonian script. We call it Hebrew, but it's Babylonian script. You understand what I'm saying? This is not the Paleo Hebrew, the original Hebrew that Moshe wrote or whomever. There's a yod here. There's a Y consonant with an I class underneath it. So one dot underneath the consonant. That's an I class. Hirek. Okay. Then you have the resh, which is sort of an opposite looking R underneath the T and the E in greater. Okay. It looks like an R, but it's on the other side. It's kind of facing the other side. And there's a schwa underneath that. When that happens, and it's much more elaborate than that, but when that happens, okay, you're looking at one syllable, yir, okay? There are other rules that come into play when you have two of them, back to back and the belly to belly. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, yir is over here. Then you have the bet. You have the hardening doggish or dagger in the middle of the beat, bet, okay? Then you have an E class underneath that, and my baby's crying. That's why I'm over here in this room. The segol is underneath here. It's like a cluster of grades. It's like an E class, like in the word get. So you got be, and it's hard because you got the dagger inside it. The belly of the letter. Okay. Like bevakasha. Like you're welcome or whatever the case may be. The first bet is hard. Bereshit. That bet is hard. This one is hard. B, not V. You understand what I'm saying? So you got bet over here, and then you got an accent marker right underneath it, next to it, and then you have the hey there, which is silent. Okay, that's a silent, and that's a silent consonant here. Anyway, you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes that consonant makes a word feminine, like cola, found and recorded in Proverbs chapter 8, around verse 1. You understand what I'm saying? That's very important because that's proving that logos is not mentioned there. Okay, that's just the deal. So you have the lexical form. Okay, this is tagged by 7235 lexical form. Okay, A classes underneath this, same one. Okay, and the deal is you have over here Rabbah. Okay, so Rabbah is actually the word for greater. Okay, Rabbah. So that's just the deal, Rabbah. But it's a different construction because that's the textual form. So it's going to be a different construction there. Just like Tom Theon is not going to be in the lexicon unless they're talking about it. Because it's functioning as an accusative, limiting case, accusative case, for example, in John 1:1b. when you trace it, 23:16, that word for God in the Greek is found, I believe, 1,317 times. That when you trace it, you're gonna trace it back, and it's gonna be theos. It's not gonna be theon. So that's just a deal. It's a lexical form. So I mean, God is greater than man. It says over here. Okay, than man. God is greater than man. So this is here. God is greater than man. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just a deal. Now, okay, so this is the Greek over here, and it says something like this: Ekούσατε hati ego epan humin, and then it says hupago kai erchamai pras humas e ega egapate me jarete an, and that's non-translatable. I'm gonna explain that. Okay, hati paru amai prastan patera. That's an accusative case construction. Hati ha pater MEIZON mu, and there's a piece missing from the page Esten, and the Esten doesn't have to do with Jesus. The Esten has to do with the Father. Okay, so let me just read that again. This is quite clear. You understand? Let me get where it's at. Verse 28 says, "Ekúsate." I'm gonna mention everything. "Ekúsate hati ego epan humin." Hupago, says over here, hupago kai erchamai pras humas, to you. Egapate me ejarete an hati paruamai. Prastan patera hati ha pater MEIZON mu esten. Okay, all right. So let's take this apart here and put it back together. You understand what I'm saying? And then we're gonna go to another app that I can just easily show you what's going on. You understand? Let's go to verse 28 again. After verse 28, you have over here an aorist tense form, a completed action, simple completed action. Okay, ekúsate. Okay, ekúsate. From akuo, which means I hear. But this is, okay, you heard in the plural. Let's work backwards though. Okay, the TE or the tau epsilon, tau nowadays called tough, is a second person personal ending from the plural part of the paradigm. Okay, primary active personal ending. Okay, this is what this is. Te, but the second person plural. Okay, te. Not to be confused with an imperative ending, and so on and so on. And then the SA or the sigma alpha is the aorist tense morpheme. This is a glaring thing in Greek when you see the sigma and alpha. It's telling you that this is an aorist tense, unless you're dealing with me verbs. You know what I'm saying? And then aku is the stem. Okay, aku, but why is it aku? Okay, aku with an eta. Now it's called eta. Why is that? Well, the alpha, okay, lengthen to eta. That's called an augment. The thing that is like the ed in Greek that lets you know, okay, this is a completed action, is, I already told you the sigma alpha does that, right? But in the beginning of a Greek word, okay, when it begins in a vowel, that vowel is lengthened, okay, from let's say epsilon to eta or alpha to eta, like this one was. That's an augment. That's like the ed, but the Greeks put it in the beginning of the word. Now you may ask me, well, what happens if the word begins in a consonant? Okay, what happens then? Like a G, right? Well, then they just put a epsilon, okay, in front of that. They don't lengthen the G. They put an E. It's like an ED, but they put just simply like an E to in the beginning of the stem of the root of the word that contains the meaning of the word. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the completed action. Okay, you heard. Okay, is in the aorist. I believe in the aorist indicative active AIA. You understand? Now, excusate, you heard. The te is saying is like a second person. It is a second person personal ending. Okay, te. Okay, because he's speaking to more than one person. You understand what I'm saying? Excusate, you heard. That, okay, hati. Okay, ego is here from the ego paradigm. Is a first person personal pronoun, right? Ego mu moi me, and you got the emphatics as well, and stuff like that. No gender. You got number and case. This is an nominative case, but no gender. I said apon. That's not epo because epo is in the present, right? So this is apon. This is an aorist tense form. So you have two aorist tense forms here: excusate and apon. You heard and I said. Those are completed actions. Okay, one done by the disciples and one done by Jesus himself. And I said, ego apen, who mean to you. Okay, that's in the dative case. This is a second person personal pronoun. Ego is a first person personal pronoun. Okay, who mean is a second person personal pronoun from the humes paradigm. Humes, humon, humin, humas. You understand what I'm saying? And it's in the plural because he's talking to more than one disciple. Okay, so far we got excusate hate ego epan humin. Hupago, okay, I go away. Hupago. Now I wonder if the ago there is from ago, found and recorded in a famous passage of scripture, verse 14 of chapter 8 of Romans. I have to investigate that. I have to look at it. It looks like it though. Ago, looks like that. Hupago, okay, kai, and come. So he is going to go away. And Greek word kai, conjunction, copulative connective conjunction, right? Linking what, right? It'll be in Hebrew, it'll be wa or va. I come, erchamai. Now let's check this out. Erchamai is one of these deponent words. You understand what I'm saying? In the present, it's a deponent what? Of the deponent word, okay, is a word that ends in omai. Okay, omai. Omicron, we'll say omai, but it's really amai, but Omicron mu alpha iota. Now, when that happens, when you see that, you're trained to know that this is middle and passive form, but active in meaning. That's the formula. A deponent word, okay, whose form is middle and passive, but active in meaning. So even though it has a middle and passive form, it's still active, though. You understand what I'm saying? It's still active. So Jehovah's Witnesses have to be careful. And you could give them a nice question. What about Erchamai? You keep on saying that Jesus was passive in creation. He didn't really do anything, even though the Father says that he did the work of your hands. Verse 10 of chapter 1 of Hebrews. But what about of the deponent? What is a deponent word, by the way? Ask them like that. What is a deponent word? They probably like if you ask 100,000 Jehovah's Witnesses, probably one or three will probably know the answer to the formula to that. That a deponent word is middle or passive in form but active in meaning. So it doesn't matter about the form. Okay, that's the rule. Is middle or passive in form but active in meaning. So it's active in meaning. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the deal. Let me see. Where am I though? So Erchamai is here. I come. Okay, it says Jesus. Okay, to is pros. Okay, probably in Hebrew will be el. To you, humas, and that's in the accusative case, though. He's going to come to them exclusively. You understand what I'm saying? The accusative case is a limiting case as to extent. The extent of the coming is going to be to them. You understand what I'm saying? If, and that's okay, okay, that is there, so that's you all. If y'all loved me, okay, agapate, okay, if you loved me, okay, agapate. Now remember that the word for love in Greek begins with an A or alpha, you know, so that's lengthened to an eta. But this is, I think, this is not, you understand, this is not, because you have augments also in the imperfect tense. So this is actually, okay, an imperfect tense, okay, not an aorist tense, agapete. Okay, agapete. I believe that's an imperfect tense. We're gonna check it out. We're gonna check out the Greek in another app. Agapate, agapate. Actually, agapate. Okay, if you loved me, and the word for love here is spelled out eta. Nowadays called eta, gamma, alpha, p. Alpha with the circumflex tau. Nowadays called tough epsilon with the acute marker. You understand what I'm saying? If you love me, okay, and that's me, and that's in the accusative case, and that's a first person personal pronoun like ego. Okay, ejarete, and that's I believe that's in the plural there, the personal ending. Rejoiced, I believe something like that there. Ejarete. On is non-translatable. Let me mention about this on business. On reminds me of another untranslatable form in Hebrew in Bereshit, Aleph Aleph. In Genesis 1:1, you have two there. I believe tagged by 853, I believe. I'm not sure. 853. But 8 is there. You don't translate that either. You read it, but you don't translate it. You can't translate that into English, the 8. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Let me see, Aleph with the Sere, and then I think it's a Tav after that. You understand? And then and then it appears another time. So it reminds me of that. You don't translate that into English in this either. This on deal. Okay. Hati. That paruamai. Okay, I go to the Father. Okay, prastam patera. All right, prastam patera. And I believe that's the construction in First John chapter 1, around verse 2 or 3 or whatever the case may be, prastam patera, instead of prastanteon, you know, because, you know, John is writing after the fact, you know, after the incarnation. So, I mean, that's why it switched from prastanteon to prastam patera, because he was, you know, for the eternal life was with the Father. Well, it's just like I say, you know, my wife was born in 1986. Well, she wasn't my wife at the time, but I could say that because she's my wife now. You understand what I'm saying? At the time, you know, I was still alive. I'm 21 years older than she is. You know, I was born in 1965. You know, I couldn't say that. You know, if I knew, you know what I mean. You know, if I was speaking and have the gift of prophecy or something like that, or somebody told me, oh, you know, your wife is your future wife is living in in the Philippines. I couldn't say at that time, oh, my wife is in the Philippines. No, she was a baby. Okay, but I could say now because she was already born and she's my wife. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing going on in First John chapter 1. It's the first thing. It's the same thing. The switch from theon to patera, or God to Father. You know. Because, you know, John is speaking, And when he's writing, I should say, he's already writing at the time that the Father is the Father of Jesus. You understand what I'm saying? Where is it? Prastan Patera, to the Father. Okay, Hati says over Hati, for Hati, okay, the Father, and that's an nominative case now, I'm sorry, Ha Pater, Meizon, okay, I think it's megas in the lexicon. Meizon, okay, mu epsilon iota zeta or zeta if you want to put a D sound, omega and nu. That's not a participle. Okay, don't confuse that as a participle. That's not a participle, and that's not a genitive ending. Okay, so I'm just saying, meizon. Okay, greater I and then mu. That's mu. That's in the genitive case. Is Estin, and that Estin belongs to the Father. That he, the Father, is. You can simply just say the Father is. That's the sentence right there. Okay. Designation. Okay. Father. Assertion. Is. Or subject predicate. You understand what I'm saying? That's just a deal. Now, let's go to, okay, where it breaks everything down. It's not going to break down the construction, though. It's not going to break down the construction, but, let's just check out our Greek, you understand? All right, so let's go to the coup de grace. Hi, my love. I got to placate my daughter. She's a special child, Anna Devane. I love you. John chapter 14, you understand? Okay, you see? You see? Hello. My lovey Gigi. Gigi is girl like that, Didi is Devane. I got that from General Hospital, that name, Anna Devane, those names. And my son's name is Sean Donnelly, by the way, So I got just all I need is Robert Scorpio. I can't lose. Understand? All right. Let's check out the Greek. Okay, we already went through it, but let's go through it again. Maybe something else will pop into my mind. You heard, and that's AIA. Okay, second person. I already told you that there is second personal ending, and then the SA or sigma alpha. That's an aorist tense morpheme. That's the form, morpheme form for morphe. That's shaping this or putting this into the aorist. Okay, that's just plain and simple as that. And so we went through the y alpha was lengthened to eta. That's an augment, and that's like the ed in Greek, if you will. You understand what I'm saying when that happens? Ekusate, you heard. You understand what I'm saying? That natati, a conjunction. I ego. Okay, said upon, and that's in the aorist tense, AIA, aorist indicative active. Aorist is tense, has to do with tense. Indicative has to do with mood, the mood of projected reality, okay, in this instance. And then active is in the active voice, upon, you understand what I'm saying? To you, who mean, okay, who mean. And the upsilon nowadays is called epsilon. It's an I class, not a U class in modern Greek, you understand what I'm saying? I am going, and that's in the present tense. Okay, I am going, hupago, because and the lexical form is hupago. That's the present. Hupago, I am going. Okay, I am going, hupago. Okay, away. Okay, so the away is part of hupago. You understand what I'm saying? And Greek word kai, you understand? And I am coming. Okay, I am coming. To is not part of that. To is over pros. Okay, translating pros. I am coming is erchamai, and that's a deponent what? The lexical form is erchamai. So all you got to do to see if something is in the deponent, and is a deponent, all you have to do is trace the what and see if it has to do with omai. You understand what I'm saying? If the lexical form ends in omai, omicron, mu, alpha, iota, well then you have to do some investigation. Erchamai is a deponent word. A deponent word, the formula is again, a deponent word is middle, though middle and passive a deponent word, though middle and passive in form, is active in meaning. You understand what I'm saying? I need that cup of coffee. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. I am coming. Do, and that's pros, preposition, one of like 17 small prepositions or so. To you all, you could have translated this. To you all, okay, pros humas. And accusative case comes after that preposition. Okay, that's kind of easy. It's just like, dative always comes after n. You understand what I'm saying? If, and that's a conjunction, okay, and also means if you will, also like that. You understand what I'm saying? You loved, okay, and that's egapate, and that's in the imperfect tense. The imperfect tense is an action that hasn't been completed yet. Okay, it's the opposite of the aorist tense. Aorist tense is a completed action. You understand what I'm saying? Egeneta, found and recorded a couple of times and that's one perfect tense form in verse 3 of chapter 1 of John. Egeneta, those things that came into being. You understand what I'm saying? And then the imperfect tense is ain. It's two completely different things. You understand what I'm saying? The continuous subsistence of logos is there showcased in those three parts of the same verse, verse 1, and actually verse 2. Actually, it says the same thing, but it includes the Father being in the beginning. As well, if you loved, sorry about that, guys. If you loved me, me, ego mumoy me. If you loved me, it says over here. It says you all, right? You, okay, would have rejoiced. And that's echarete. Echarete. You understand what I'm saying? Echarete. And that's just the deal. This is passive, and this is indicative, and you have this aorist over here. Okay, echarete. And then this is a prime example. You have Jairo. Jairo. And Jairo means, okay, it says to rejoice. I rejoice, right? I rejoice, be glad. So this is a good example of what I was telling you, that the Greeks put an E in front of their consonant to make it like an ED. Sort of a deal, you understand what I'm saying? But they put it in the beginning of Greek word. It's right over here, recorded. Okay, you have echarete. That epsilon there is like an ed. It's showcasing a completed action. It's called an augment. You understand what I'm saying? Now, in the word for love, you're not going to put an e. You're just going to lengthen that a into eta. Like agapesen is the same thing. Agapesen. The eta lengthened the alpha in the word in John chapter 3 verse 16. For God so loved the world, and the eta there is an augment. You understand what I'm saying? And that's in the third person, by the way. Charete, okay, you would have rejoiced. You would have rejoiced, and the on is a non-translatable. That, okay, hati, I am going. Okay, paru, amai, I am going, and that's in the present. Okay, and that's actually a deponent word, right? In the text and outside of the text, in the lexicon. You understand what I'm saying? Hi, my love, I am going. Now, you could say, well, Jesus was passive. No, it wasn't passive, because this has to do with deponency. This is, and this is the deal why, I made this ministry. So we won't lose, forget about the war. Jesus won the war, but these battles along the way. Understand what I'm saying? So many witnesses defeat Christians because they don't know, constructions and things like that. You understand what I'm saying? It should be the other way around. You understand what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, Russell went to the seventh grade only, not us. You understand? That's just the deal. Well, some of us probably, but what are you gonna do? Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Okay, and let me see. It says over here that I am going. Well, it's passive, but he's still going. I am going. Paru am I. You see, that's based on deponency. I am going. Okay, understand what I'm saying? To the Father. Pras tam patera, to the Father. Okay. Patera. You ever heard of Kim Patera, the wrestler? There you go, right there. His father. Because because the Father, okay, ha pater, okay, greater MEIZON than I is. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? And then the is the last. That's the third person, by the way. Okay, so you got Amy, A, and Eston. That's the paradigm. Okay, and as a me verb, actually, Amy is a me verb, and the paradigm for the present in the singular is like that. You understand what I'm saying? Amy, and then A, and then Eston. That's what I'm saying? So this is just the deal. Now, we already saw, okay, in Job chapter, you understand what I'm saying? Job chapter, we checked out the Hebrew and we checked out the English. That God is greater than man. So that's no problem. Well, Jesus became man, so all bets are off. That's just the deal. Okay? And he became not only man, but in things that he did while being man, he served God. You understand what I'm saying? So, the servant's not greater than his Lord. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the deal. I mean, so he served God, my servant the branch. He was a servant. Let's see if it's here. Having become as much, okay, here's the word right here, better than the angels, as he has inherited a more excellent name than they. Now, what's the name? Son. That's all. Son. He wasn't given the name. He didn't inherit the word Jehovah. He was just given the name Son. And it's just automatically Son. Okay, the Son of God. That title is greater than anything that the angels have. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, that's just the deal. Now let's look at verse 4 according to the Greek. Now this word, everybody knows it, but we're going to look at the construction. Okay, so we're just not just look at the lexicon. That's kind of cheap, you know what I mean. We're gonna go dive a little bit more deeper into the pool. That's just the deal. We're not just gonna look at fairs and vines. That's good, but we have to grow up. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That's just all there is to it. Hebrews chapter 1. You understand? I hope that's it right there in verse 4. I hate these tabs, like I said before. I hate to repeat myself, By so much, it says over here. By so much. Why is it like that? It's like very faint. Superior, it says over here. Creton, or better. Superior. Okay, and that's sometimes it's crezon with a sigma, but over here it's creton, kappa rho, epsilon iota with a cube marker, tau, double T, omega nu. This is an adjective. This is in a nominative case. Nominative masculine singular. You understand? And so that's just the deal. Now if you poke the bear, poke him right in the eye, see nominative masculine singular. Okay? Okay, so that's just the deal. Now it says over here, see, because this is a comparison, uh, comparative. Now this I already said is in a degree. You have adjectives, some adjectives. Oh, you have adjectives all over the place in Greek. You have verbal adjectives. I mean, you got participles are verbal adjectives, right? And then you got adjectival intensives like autos and stuff like that that could be used for that. You got you got verbal nouns, infinitives. I mean, you got predicate adjectives. You got a substantival adjective, attributive adjective. You got adjectives all over the place. This has to do with degree. Okay, now let's check out the word greater. Okay, now the positive degree of greater, okay, of the word great is great. That's the positive degree. Greater has to do with the comparative degree because you're comparing, in this instance, okay, two persons. The superlative degree has to do with three or more things or persons that you're comparing. You understand what I'm saying? So you have the positive degree, the comparative degree, and the superlative degree. This is in the comparative degree. Okay, because Jesus is comparing the Father to him because he became man. Jesus said that the Father was greater than he was. All right, now, so that's just the deal. So, Kreiton is spelled out Kreiton, or Kappa, Rho, Epsilon, Iota with a cube marker, Tau, Tau, Omega, Nu. You understand what I'm saying? It says by so much, okay, superior, having become, okay, and that's genomenos. Okay, now that's a participle though. That's very easy. That's a participle right there. Why? Because of the mena. You have the case ending right over here. You have the pronunciation or connecting vowel omicron there in the middle of the participial morpheme. You got different forms to put something in a participial construction. Okay, you got different forms. Okay, you got new tau. I think you got omicron tau, and then you have mene, and then you have other constructions. You understand what I'm saying? Let me see over here. So you have the participial morpheme mena here, and then case ending. So this participial construction is followed by a case ending here in the nominative sigma. You see that? So you have to deal with two things for participles. You have to deal with that you have to deal with a verb, and then you have to colliding with a noun case ending. So that could be tricky. Having become, and then to that is ton, okay. And that's a genitive, and ton all across the board in the article paradigm for the masculine and all the other genders. Angels, angelon. Okay, that's in the genitive, angelon. Okay, as much as, okay, hassle, as much as, okay, more excellent, beyond, and that's para, but it's eliciated, para. Okay, theirs, and autus, that's in the accusative construction there. Okay, he has inherited, and that's in the perfect tense. You see the reduplicating consonant kappa there, connected by a connecting vowel. That's consonantal reduplication. So that's in the perfect tense. That's a dead giveaway for the perfect tense. Perfect tense is very easy to look at when it's like this. When it reduplicates like tetelestai and all this other, and all this other good stuff. Kappa epsilon kappa lambda eta rho omicron, nowadays called omicron, nu nowadays called ni. Got 2% left on the phone, so I have to go, guys. Omicron, mu nowadays called mi, eta nowadays called eta, kappa epsilon nu, and then you have the kappa epsilon right there. Kappa epsilon, and that's a dead giveaway also for the perfect tense. Unless you're looking at a me verb. Okay, that's just the deal. Now, a name, okay, anama, okay, a name, and I think I skipped something though. Okay, he has inherited, and a name is, and that's my son making noise, dreaming. A name, anama. You understand what I'm saying? By the way, let me just mention this. And I don't have time to rehash everything, but you get the picture. MEIZON is recorded in John chapter 14, verse 28, nakreton. So that's really the review. But I want to stop with this anama. It doesn't say, I believe, the names. And let me see if I could get it very quickly in this app, because I could get it quickly in this app. The names of the disciples. Okay, and that's 10 right there. Now, if I could get just the names of the disciples. Let's see. Okay, so I think maybe, let me see, names will be right before. Now, the reason why I want to get there for names, okay, Philip is right there, Philippas, is because in this gospel, Matthew chapter 28, around verse 19, it says, baptize them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. In the name. You understand what I'm saying? So that's in the singular. And that's probably in the dative case. So it doesn't say in the names. You see, they share one name, Yahweh. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. Simon is there, so this comes before. Donde, let me see, apostolon, see, there you go, the names, look at that right there, it's right here. Let me blow that up. Okay, well, if I blow it up, it's too big for the phone. Okay, and I have to really leave. Namata, that's names. Okay, that's in the plural. You see that this name right here, just an incidental thing, but this name is not found and recorded there in chapter 28, verse 19. This ANGELO KYKY is giving glory to the God of Israel. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. And that means that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were very much alive at the time that Jesus said those was. Please subscribe to my channel. Please give me a thumbs up, and please leave a comment on the screen. Better go before this show is annihilated, because it's not going to be kept by the phone, okay, if it goes over the time. Bye, guys. Take care. Bye.